So I'm now going to describe the process for how to create pattern pieces for rough cutting the fabric for doing the paper piecing blocks. So here I have the paper piecing pattern for the Nancy Star block, and let's use this space here for part number 4 of this star and figure out how we would create a pattern piece to rough cut the fabric for that particular section of the star. So we need to work on the other side because this is where the fabric goes, on the back, right? So I held it up to the window, or you could also do this on the light block, on a light box, and I marked the 3 points that are the corners of the triangle that make up that. So I marked this point here, this point here, this point here, and I also sketched in the seam allowance line on the outside of the block. So that's what I've got marked on here, the 3 points plus where the seam allowance line goes. And basically what we're going to do is add a 1/2 inch all the way around. But for the case here, we don't want to go a 1/2 inch beyond those points. We want to go a 1/2 inch beyond the seam allowance line. So if I turn this, I'll lay my 1/2 inch on the 2 dots for that side and just draw a line. I'm making it much longer than I need to. And now I'm going to lay my 1/2 inch line on the seam allowance line and make another line there. And now for this final side, unfortunately my piece of paper is not quite big enough. I'm just going to cut a little chunk out of here. And extend my lines out farther. Okay, so I'll put a piece of Scotch tape on there, and then I would be able to cut this out, and that would be perfect for rough cutting my pieces for segment number 4 of the star. Now I want to make a notation to remember that this is for the pretty side, or the good side of the fabric. And we also want to take note of which is the side that connects to the rest of the block. Remember, I put all those little arrows on them. So let's just peek on the other side of the pattern. So here are segments 1 and segments 2. Here's segment 4. We always start with 1 and work our way up. So when segment 4 gets added, it's being added here to the to segment 1 and 2. So it's this line here, which is this line. So here's where we can put our little arrows. And that's pretty much it. You just cut it around that, and you've got your pattern piece for segment number 4.